Hello, Internet. I'm HamsterBomb.
And I'm Zach.
And you guys are back for another episode of HITBOX, the gaming podcast where we talk about all sorts of video game nonsense and our little side series that we've done inside of this of go through all the years and determine like what would we think is the game of that year. Because, I mean, there haven't been game of the years for the past, I think we've only had it for like, 7-8 years now? So
something to that effect,
yeah, it's not even close to 1991, right? One? We in one?
We are in two.
I remember where we are.
Don't
No.
Don't do this to me,
How did I
man.
mess that up? I remember a very important thing that came out in 1992.
What was that?
Me. And so
you have memories of being born?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
It was a dumpster fire. In fact, they just tossed me out there like, oh, they vomited all over right when they were like, oh, this is the worst. So in lighter news, good things that actually happened in 1992, we are going to talk about today in the world of video games, and we'll see what we would say would be the best game of the year. There's a lot of cool stuff is happening in 92. In fact, so many cool things are happening in 92, and we will get to play with some of them with you guys today. However, as we mentioned before, we try our best to try and narrow this down to just 10 games. And we really couldn't do it this time, so we're gonna try our best to keep this under an hour. We want to, we initially aimed to keep these episodes 30 minutes each. Yeah. That's how much content we have to talk about, and we still would go way over time. We're gonna try to shorthand this, and then we were like, okay, so how about we do like, instead of an honorable mentions, because that seems kind of unfair to the games that we really should talk about, we're going to have a rapid fire segment. Yeah. So I figure let's rapid fire some of the games that we can't actually play, so that way everything else for the rest of the episode we're going to be able to play with you guys live. And the first one
Mortal Kombat.
Is Mortal Kombat. You might have heard of this game.
Might have.
But aside from the fact that this is still around today, this was a really big deal in 1992.
Oh my lord, yes.
Yes. So first of all, we had fighters. So that wasn't what made this new.
No.
What made this new was the fact that it was just gory.
And bloody.
Yes, and bloody. For the first time, really. Well, in people's faces, in the arcades.
Right.
All over.
That was the main selling point, was the fatalities and how brutal things could be in the game.
Exactly.
Yes.
I probably don't even need to jump to too many of the shots of Mortal Kombat. Just, you've probably already seen this game, or you know what, at least what I'm talking about. Now, it's very tame looking back on the original compared to what they are doing nowadays. How do you sell? Yeah, how do you top it? You have to keep trying to get more and more outrageous, and that's what new Mortal Kombats are. Basically, the entire game was just about trying to be pushing people's buttons back in the day, and it certainly did. And it, alongside another game that came out this year, so you watch this little quick segue we're doing with Night Trap.
Night Trap.
These two games, I believe there were a couple others that were also discussed at the time.
I think so,
But they were responsible for causing a chain of events that would eventually lead to the ESRB being created.
Yep.
And you could probably tell just from some shots here from Night Trap. Now, once again, very tame again by our modern standards, but this is something that the government starts looking at and goes, we can't have our kids playing video games like this. It's going to make them violent. It's going to make them perverts or whatever they thought Night Trap was going to do to them. But effectively that was what it was. They were using these as evidence and saying that we need a rating system, which honestly, a rating system is a good thing. Yeah. We can have a whole episode about the rating system. Let's not go there. So Night Trap, the game, because this one you've probably not heard of. Mortal Kombat, I bet you've heard of Mortal Kombat, but Night Trap, this is a one-off thing. We've never seen this again, though you can play it on the Switch.
Yes, you can.
You can buy and play this game on the Switch.
PS4.
Yes. So basically, you're really just watching a movie, and you have the ability to interact slightly,
at
not much.
Points,
at various points in the movie, and basically, it's kind of Five Nights at Freddy's-ish, because you're watching different cameras in this room where these girls are having a slumber party.
But oh no,
some hooded men are sneaking into the house.
They're gonna take their blood.
They're gonna take their it's like vampires or something like that.
They're vampires, but they don't vampire.
I don't know. Yeah, it's so cheesy and so tame, and The only thing that really matters was there's girls taking their shirts off in a video game.
And it looks very suspect from the outside.
Yes. I mean, just looking at screenshots, you would suspect there's more to it, but these screenshots are honestly as bad as it gets.
Yeah.
It doesn't get anywhere to in fact, it's so tame, it's not really worth going back to, but it's the fact that this made such a huge stink. I feel like we had to talk about this and at least cover it because you can still play this. So anyway, we have 2 more rapid fire ones. Remember, this is rapid fire. We are moving.
Trying to.
And I swear, I'm going to let Zach talk because these next 2 were basically his votes to make sure that we talked about these in here. And of course, Dune. I know you're a huge Dune fan, but why?
I absolutely love Dune.
But why are we talking about this game? Dune 2 Battle for Arrakis.
All right, so some of you might be asking, where's Dune 1? It never got released, so don't worry about it.
I didn't know that either, so I was one of those people.
Or a version of it came out, so.
Oh my goodness.
This is an RTS, and this is made by the same guys who would eventually go on to make stuff like Command and Conquer. And this basically laid the foundation for a lot of things that was to come. Like, we'd had a few RTS games before, but never one really that really melded the gameplay and like the whole lore behind its world and stuff together so well. And it's so simplified, and everything, like I said, would lead to Command and Conquer and Warcraft, which would take inspiration from this. Warcraft should be a very familiar name for some of you out there. I would hope.
I would hope.
Yeah, but it's a really good RTS, and you get to play as a house and mine the spice and just stop all the other houses from taking spice.
Dune stuff that is going over my head at the moment, unfortunately, but all the Dune lovers out there
Don't worry,
will appreciate that this one is breaking some ground.
A 4-hour conversation about it later.
Oh, God.
But anyway.
Let's move on. Last rapid fire game we have to talk about here is Ultima Underworld. I'll let this one be in your territory again.
Hello. Surprise, surprise, it's an RPG, and I love RPGs, so this is one where it basically really introduced what we would want to think of as an early 3D game. Everything's still on a 2D plane, but you have not only an X and a Y, but a true Z axis. So you can go between levels of the dungeon, you're not locked to tiles, and it's very much an interactive or an immersive sim where you're interacting with the different factions down in this dungeon, and you're trying to survive, solve its mysteries. And this would be this beat Doom to market by about a year.
That's the main game I was hoping that people looking at these screenshots were thinking about, because Doom is kind of given credit for that nowadays.
Which is... It popularized it, but it's not the first.
Totally did popularize it, but this is. I mean, if you've been following these Hitbox history episodes up to this point, this is like miles better than anything we've seen up to this point.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the fact that you're not like just like a weird teleport jumping from one tile to the other, you actually get to like look around and like feel like you're in a 3D simulated world. Yeah,
and if this kind of looks familiar for especially older school RPG fans, this served as a big inspiration for the Elder Scrolls series. Arena basically is this, but open world.
Hopefully you've heard of that as well.
I hope so.
And if you're really out of touch, Skyrim, it's an Elder Scrolls game. A lot of people don't know that for some reason.
Because the name Skyrim has surpassed Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, Oblivion kind of did that as well.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But
so
anyway,
that was rapid fire stuff. Yay, now we can actually get into some actual games. I swear we have some of those.
We've got games.
Yep. The first actual game I want to play on here for you guys today, I think, is the only NES game we're going to talk about today.
That's the only one we're talking about.
I mean, the NES is on its way out, and if anything, it's kind of surprising that we're still
lasted this long.
Yeah, and we're still talking about them. I mean, this is now the second year of the Super Nintendo.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, my bad. We were talking about Little Samson.
Little Samson.
I'm going to start it fresh. One thing that you should know immediately about this game is probably the fact that it is extremely rare and expensive. And unfortunately, that is one of the things that it's known for nowadays.
Yeah.
However, I want to point out that, like, this game looks and animates so well, and it plays so well. It looks like a modern retro indie game.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, it plays like you wouldn't believe. And now, when you play modern retro style indie games, a lot of time, whatever, I'll just go easy because I'm not really paying attention.
Nah.
You can choose like 4 different characters from there. I shouldn't have done that so quickly. But like, look at this sprite animation.
Right. Just the amount of frames that they actually were able to put into this game, and just the different things that each different character can do, and you can swap pretty much on the fly.
Yeah, learning to he can like Samson can climb on the walls.
Yep. And you've also got a mouse character, a dragon character.
Yeah, the mouse is smaller and can.
And he can fit in through tight spaces. He has less health. He has the least amount of health out of everyone, even little Samson here.
Right.
But he's the quickest, and he can fit in places where others can't. You've got your tank. You've got your ranged with the dragon. It's really cool to be able just to strategize and see.
And they all have like different stages too.
Right, and to see who all is best for which stage when you get them all unlocked.
Right.
But it's a really fun game, and it's just such a shame that not too many people ever had a chance when it first came out to play it.
Yeah, and people nowadays, of course, don't really have a chance to play it unless you're going to be cheesing it somehow. And I don't ever want to tell people, like, hey, if you don't own a game, then you really shouldn't be trying to, download it online and play it on an emulator, but you can't buy this game.
No, it's like a few $1,000s.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Loose.
Which is it's such a disappointment, because this game, like we were just saying, is really outstanding. It's really fun. If you ever get a chance, go ahead, just give it a try. I mean, it's not like there's any way you could ever buy this game. I don't think there's any way to even purchase the game digitally anywhere. It's not even on any eShops. Nope. So yeah, a huge shame there. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. I would say definitely give it a try. This game is a blast.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna try and stay on pace today. Watch this.
Oh,
however, boy. I'm already off the NES. Of all those games we could be trying.
Hey, at least we had a lot of good memories along the way.
Also, another system here, the Game Boy. Not too many games we really get to talk about here on the Game Boy. There's a lot of great stuff for the Game Boy.
Trying to like stack it up to a lot of the other big hitters. Like it's there and it's very important.
Right.
But
a lot of times a Game Boy game is like the weaker version of its counterpart. Like I'm looking at the Donkey Kong Land series to the left. Obviously that isn't out yet by 92. But those are basically games that are just inferior versions of the Super Nintendo game.
Exactly.
You have like Super Mario Brothers Deluxe is an inferior version of Super Mario Brothers, the arcade and the NES game. So there was rare standout games that are just like Game Boy, wow!
Right.
And whenever that pops up, that's when we're talking about it. And unfortunately, this one is totally that, but it never came to the West.
No.
And Zach and I played this together.
Yep.
And I don't know about you, but I will say this is easily one of the best Game Boy games ever.
I'm not going to argue with you.
This is outstanding. In fact, if Pokemon Red and Blue were not on this system, which I have such gross nostalgia bias for, I would say that this is the best Game Boy game. I would jump in here just to try and show you random parts of the game, but I really think our save states were wherever we were towards the end of us saving.
We were at the end.
Right,
yeah.
so I'm gonna just start this fresh, and we're gonna try and discuss this. So,
oh gosh,
oh my god,
where do we start with this?
How about this? If I'm gonna describe this game in one word, it is charming.
Yes.
The story and the world, the music, everything about this game, even the gameplay, is just charming. I am playing a fan-done translation, by the way, which I would encourage you to play. We haven't even said the title yet, because it was in Japanese.
Right.
For the frog, the bell tolls is how the translators did this. However, it is known more accurately, I don't know why there were multiple translations of the name.
I don't know, but yeah, it was known also as
the frog for whom the bell tolls.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
It's such a wild story. In fact, the game is so wild, I feel like I honestly want to review this game, even though no one's going to know what it is, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, how about this? So, this game was worked upon and eventually would become Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening.
Yes, this is the game where the engine they used basically made one of the better Game Boy games, and probably one of the best Zelda games, too, to be honest with you.
Right, so... Yes, and what's weird about this and like the way that it functions, you can see like there's a lot of top-down. At the moment, you're like talking to characters. Right now, I'm a frog. The world is very weird. You talk to different characters, you move around, and eventually there's like 2D segments like this. Perfect.
Yep. Yeah.
Where you actually like move through dungeons, and like the frog can jump extra high. If I use any of my items here, which that's my menu, it looks like, I don't have any at the moment. I think we lost our items at this point.
Yeah, because we got trapped in here, I believe. Yeah.
Right. Oh, and my stats are changed because I'm currently a frog. When you're a human, you have a sword, you have a shield, you can switch things. You get the weirdest of items. You get like a saw to cut down bushes to find secrets. You find wasabi. You get that's some of the main items in here. You get an egg, and if you eat an egg, you turn into a snake. If you eat an apple, you turn back into a human. If you touch water, you turn into a frog. It's
nuts.
And you need to use all of that in order to solve the dungeons and figure out how to progress.
Yep.
Because right now I'm very frail because I'm a frog. I would definitely lose in a fight if I encountered anybody.
And the nice thing is death is not anything to really be afraid of, because you don't
just
even
lose a little bit of money by buying your hearts back again.
That's it.
But the thing is, on the way to your death, you would go into combat, and unfortunately, where we're at right now, I can't get straight into combat to show you.
Talk to all.
I think we need to talk this guy a second time.
But yeah, so
yeah, it was one of these guys. I forget what we did. But anyway, yeah. So when you get into combat, what is so interesting about this game and how the fights work, you basically get into like a little dust cloud fight, like you saw in the introduction with the two princes.
Yep.
And when you're in a fight, basically it's the game starts auto fighting, and it calculates how much they get a turn, how fast is their speed, you get a turn, and they attack, and just you don't have choices to it. You just deal damage and it auto kills stuff, and eventually it will just auto kill, smash stuff off the screen.
Right.
And then if you are victorious, they drop something, either money or hearts, sometimes an item, and you just keep progressing that way. So that way, when the game has dungeons, either top down like this, or if there are segments where you're going through a 2D segment, you need to solve, okay, this guy is going to take too much health for me to challenge if I go that route. If I go underneath and try and do these jumps, then I can fight through this way, and I'll end up with one heart left, and that's all that matters because there's a life stone here, and I'll heal. And that's how it works.
Right.
It's not about fighting, it's about
exploration
and puzzle solving your way around.
Right. Because the only way that you can get stronger is by finding various items in the overworld and in dungeons to increase your health, your speed, and your attack. Those are the only 3 stats you have to worry about.
I'm going to take a look at what we do. We have the final boss.
Oh, we're at the final boss.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil too much of this, but yeah, you can see we did beat the game.
This took us 6.5 hours, which is really good for a Game Boy game.
Yeah, and I believe we also had a little bit of help from online if we got stuck, or we're just okay, well, I'm kind of stuck here. Where are we supposed to go?
But it was minimal that we had to use it.
Absolutely. And we had so much fun with this. I would highly recommend you play this. Like I said, I might review this at one point just because it is so great. And I feel like I didn't get to showcase enough of it, but to be fair, if you can go into this game knowing as little as possible, it's also really good just because of how
the surprises it throws at
how
you.
funny and cute it is. The how you solve things, it really feels like genuinely surprising and fun. And there is a bit of a plot twist surprise at the end that was really nice.
Yeah,
I really genuinely love this game.
It reminded me of a mix between a fairy tale and a Saturday morning live action cartoon kind of show.
I could easily see this as a Studio Ghibli film.
Yeah.
It just totally fits that crazy world, and it is such a shame that we never got this. But oh well, we have more games to move on to, and I think we're already going to be doing our magical. Okay, and now we're on the Super Famicom, and we're going to be playing a game that is specifically brought only on the Super Famicom, because I don't think we ever got this game.
We did, but it wasn't ported until years and years later on the iPhone.
Do you count that? Do you really count that?
No, not really.
But anyway.
It wasn't even this version we got either, so.
Yeah, that stinks.
Yeah. But it's Shin Megami Tensei.
Shin Megami Tensei. Now, finally, a series that people know about.
Right.
Because when Kim and I were playing Persona, and even years before that, I remember vaguely hearing about it. Persona, it's actually a spin-off of this other game, which is actually a spin-off of some other thing, which is it goes really deep. So we're not going to go there. But Shin Megami Tensei is at least where you're going to recognize where Jack Frost comes from, where Pixie comes from, where all the demons, the world of what Persona will kind of take. Persona adds the day-to-day life sim aspect to it, and this is purely in the world of demons and
supernatural horror science fiction.
And monster to ally party acquisition, which is another huge part of this. Now, I am not very far in this, but I can at least jump to where I'm at right here.
Yep.
Which is basically towards the beginning of the game. I'm just kind of doing stuff right now, but just so you can at least see how this works.
But this is overworld travel. You are a little blue icon.
Do your thing. I'm going to try and figure out what's going on.
Yeah, you're a little blue icon, and one day you had a nightmare, and you meet a bunch of people you don't know who you are destined to meet up with. Now, the thing is, you're told that the world is going to end, and Stephen Hawking basically gives you a demon summoning program, and you download it into your little handheld computer, and as we go further into the game, demons start invading Tokyo.
Here we go. Here's some of this stuff I wanted to see.
Yeah, so here we go. You can... the dungeons and towns and houses, everything else is in first person. It's a tile-by-tile system, and you could buy new equipment, you do this and that and the other thing. And eventually, it's all to try to get stronger, to get better demons, to fight more demons, to get better demons and get better equipment. It's a very typical RPG loop, but what, like you said, sets it apart, it's the monster taming aspect to it, where you don't get anything by like throwing a Pokeball or anything like that. You actually have to talk and negotiate with each demon.
And which is why I don't want to spend all my money on this, because you have to negotiate them to join your party.
And sometimes that requires money, or it could require items. Or answering a specific question
in a way that they would want to hear. So you try and infer based on what they look like to figure out, like, okay, they probably want to hear me say something very assertive, or maybe it's just a very naive thing,
or flattering,
childlike, or flattering. So you kind of need to look at them and gauge how they speak and how they would want a person to react to that. So that's what's so weird about how it works, is like you need to basically like convince your enemy to join you, and then you use your enemies to fight other enemies and have them join you, and that's kind of how you get.
And then sometimes
larger.
they'll just say peace and just leave. They won't even deuces. But yeah, and the thing that I love about this series too is that it tackles a lot of issues and topics that are very, very dark. Not only do we deal with like apocalyptic stuff, but we deal with like human trafficking, what it means to deal with dark powers, and how do you properly deal with that. Or which side do you actually want to be on, either not good or evil. And that's something that I appreciate about this series too. It doesn't dwell on that. It deals with law or chaos. Do you want freedom, or do you want order?
Or do you want drugs?
Do you want drugs? Of course you want drugs. Why wouldn't you want drugs? Or survival?
I'm trying to see some way I can show Kombat, but
you got to go to the coffee shop to get your mom coffee. That's what she gave you.
I remember. Oh, and I went out and I bought a Tonfa instead.
Dude, I bought Son, where's my coffee? Why do you have a weapon?
I'm preparing for the demon invasion, mother.
You've been playing those video games again. I told you spent all those hours with Stephen Hawking, and it's gonna rot your mind.
Where them drugs at?
But yeah, so it's a series that's still going on. The 5th game just dropped actually last month.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to play that yet?
No, because I was playing the 3rd game in the series, and I'm like, I'm not really feeling this. Yeah, here we go.
Ooh. Nice. Okay. So I have a little bit of combat at least.
Aunt Preta appeared and ripped out the man's throat. Yeah, he just pops out of nowhere and he lunges at you, runs away.
Ran away. An attack knife is lying on the ground a few feet from the dead man's hand. Took the attack knife.
Yep. So you spent all that money for nothing. You got a knife.
Do I need the knife though?
Probably you will have.
I'm trying to equip stuff, but anyway, yeah. So I know we've been playing a little bit of 3, which also was remastered for the Switch recently.
Yep. It's a good game, but it's one that I've just kind of bounced off of. But this one, I think, has a bit of a better story and more of a reason why you care about stuff. Because, do I want to say spoilers for a game from 1992?
You can go ahead, I think.
I mean, it's like towards the beginning of the game, like, you know, as you start getting your party members, you want to go back home and you want to figure out, oh, hey, is my mom okay? You go to see her, she's been eaten by a demon and they've been wearing her skin. And it's like, and so they're like, why don't you come give mom a hug? And then you don't, and it's like, no, I don't want to. And then it's like, oh, well, then I'm just going to kill you. And it turns into a demon. It's like, oh,
yeah,
this is personal now. Screw you guys.
Yeah, this game gets messed up.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what made it have such a strong personality to it, because like this first person perspective too on a home console, like, it really feels like it's so in depth and it's doing so many interesting things aside from like how crazy dark and freaky the game is. The Monster to Allies acquisition thing is something that we really shouldn't be understating. That's really new and interesting. Pokemon hasn't happened yet.
Nope.
And there's the graphics for this are really great. There's so much that they're creating here.
Oh yeah.
It's just a massive game. And on top of that, because we're gonna back out here and we do have to move on, there's 2 other Shin Megami Tensei games also for the system that we're probably not even gonna get a chance to talk about. We just want to at least say like, hey, beginning of Shin Megami Tensei, and there's Shin Megami Tensei If and Shin Megami Tensei 2 that are also released on this. However, in this same vein of tangents that I'm currently on, there's another game, there we go, that we're gonna be jumping to. Wow, are we going to talk about every single Dragon Quest game ever?
I'm not trying to subliminally tell you to do so.
Anyway, another thing I should mention, just like the Frog Room, the Bell Tolls, Shin Megami Tensei and Dragon Quest V, we're playing fan translations.
Right.
So, obviously, these were the Japanese versions of the game, so.
Right, because we never got 5 because Enix of America basically kind of shut down for a long while before coming back. Anyway.
Speaking of Monster to Allies, party acquisition, Dragon Quest V. And you know what? You may have the floor.
Yeah. All right, so
we have seen some Dragon Quest on here before.
Yes.
It's a lot that you would have recognized.
This is the first entry that was made for the Super Famicom, and it doesn't look as good, I'd say, as maybe Shin Megami Tensei. It adds, like I said, it adds an awful lot to the series, especially from a storytelling standpoint, because earlier Dragon Quests were not very story-driven. They were more exploration-driven, with the story being kind of found in the world. With this, you know, you start out as a small child. You actually watch your character be born, and you get to name yourself, which is funny.
You're like, no, honey, I think we should call him Nipple Phlegm. What?
That's great, dear, but that sucks. You're not allowed to name anything ever again. But you watch your character be born. You start out as
Didn't we want to name him Potato or something?
We wanted to name him Potato, but cooler heads prevailed and we named him Hamster.
Right, unfortunately.
But you started as a kid traveling the world with your father, and he treats you like a kid, and he cares for you. Like, even if you don't get hurt in battle, he will cast a heal spell on you and try and heal you up. And you watch as your character grows from being a kid to an adult with his own family eventually. And that kind of storytelling like really just resonated with a lot of people. The big one I can think is Will Wright, the guy who created The Sims. Because that stuck with him, because he played a version of this and he's like, wow, I never had seen a game do this before. And, you know, that's a good big testament to the storytelling of this game. And like you said, mechanically, there's also later on a monster recruiting mechanic.
Yeah, because you go through different eras of your character's life. And is this the one also where you marry someone and then your child like changes like their hair color and all sorts of stuff based on
who you marry?
Yes. The game, it's like, I mean, imagine that back in the day here where like your game was like it felt so customized and personalized to your experience that it would go that far to make like a unique sprite for that.
Right.
Like that would feel so impactful at this point. That's so cool. Yeah, I would, even from not playing many Dragon Quest, this is one of the first ones that I just from checking all of them, that I'm most interested in playing. Yeah,
if you can, I would suggest trying to play the DS remake, which is my personal favorite and still my favorite in the whole series, but again, expensive. But, you know, there's other ways. I would say don't do it if you have the ability to, but, you know.
I do love retro jank.
Yeah.
Because there is something wrong with me, as we have established.
But it's such a good game, and I'd say if you're willing to give the Dragon Quest series a shot, if you don't want to go for the massive, like, 100-hour behemoth that is Dragon Quest 11, give this one a shot. Yeah. It's really good.
Cool. And look at that. We could safely move on, and we don't have to talk about Dragon Quest for another hour. God, I'm sure we're going to be over time on this already. We have, these are some good games coming up.
Oh, yes.
Oh, not that any, man, see, here's the thing. This is such a big year. There's, like, no shortage of, like, great games for this year. We could not trim any of these out. We had to talk about all of them.
Exactly, because they were all important in their own way.
Yes.
Like Super Mario Kart.
Super Mario Kart. Mm-hmm. Oh, my gosh, where do we even start?
Well, we can start at the beginning.
Okay, so this really is the beginning for kart racing games.
Yeah.
In general, Mario did it first.
We had, like, car combat games and other stuff like that in the arcade, but we never had anything quite like this, where it's, like, fun, arcadey, easy to pick up and learn kind of game with random elements that, you know, can really level the playing
to, like,
field.
shake it up so it's not just about driving.
Right.
There was also, I believe it was data mined out of this, there was originally going to be a course creation tool in this game.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah. And one more thing I want to point out that I really want to see in a future Mario Kart game. I need them to pull off a Smash Brothers Everyone is Here, because Donkey Kong Jr. will never race again.
No.
And neither has Rob. What's up with that? There's others that haven't gotten to race again either, but anyway.
Yeah.
We'll just do a generic mushroom cup on the lowest, just so that we can do this while I'm still trying to speak.
Right, so...
Also, more simulated 3D, but on a home console?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's like you weren't seeing a lot of other systems able to really do this or do this as well.
No.
And, you know, if you
like
played...
the coin system,
if you played F-Zero, this is basically what they were doing with F-Zero as well, that very Mode 7 rotation, but this has a lot more items. It has...
You can reverse your camera right there, like I just did.
Camera, yep. It's such a... This is a fun game. Like, it's not one I would usually go back to, but it's like...
Yeah, if I'm going back to this style of Mario Kart, personally I prefer Mario Kart Super Circuit on the Game Boy Advance.
Right, which we're not quite there yet.
No.
But, you know, for those of you who have played the Game Boy Advance version, yeah, this should look kind of familiar.
Yeah, and you can actually race on most of these tracks on that one as well.
Yeah, you can unlock pretty much the entirety of this game on that one.
Yeah, which was so cool.
Oh, I know. I raced for hours just trying to unlock all that stuff.
I know, and I probably will do it all over again just because. Ooh, got a boost so I can go across that.
But anything else you want to add about this one?
You know, it is so influential just of how much is going to come out of this one game.
Exactly.
Like, I know we're not really selling that enough. I thought there was a reason to run into Yoshi eggs.
I don't remember. I know in later games they gave items, but that's not important.
But yeah, there's just so much to it that, like, think like the entire kart racing genre, which is other games that just want to be Mario Kart.
Right.
It's like almost everything has its own kart racer version. Final Fantasy has one. Sonic the Hedgehog has one. There's
Crash Bandicoot
had one. Diddy Kong got one.
Yep.
There's so many, and it's all from this. It's almost like this game invented a genre. Even though racing games were a thing, but this is specifically like the kart racer.
Right.
And it's still so good. Like, for its first game, to like invent something so unique and interesting, and it is still great, and it just so happened to be branded with a character theme that is still popular today.
Yeah.
So this is like,
it was like a surefire hit, basically.
Yeah, it's such a like it just got so lucky, I feel like, in every regard. I mean, the music's great, the gameplay's really great. Really amazing for the Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
One more thing I want to talk about on the Super Nintendo before we move on.
Ah, yes.
And it was most certainly not included on here.
No, and you had to finagle with this quite a bit to get it to work.
I did, but I got it working, dagnabbit. And that game is in here somewhere. I added so many games to the Super. Here we go. You might have seen me passing by this earlier in another episode and thought, what on earth is wrong with Alex? That's not gonna work. It's like seeing Duck Hunt in there. It's not gonna work. I got this working. This is a fan-modded version. I had to get a very specific one where you could actually play this with the Super Nintendo controller. So normally, you would be playing the game with the mouse, because this was, I believe, the first game that came with the Super Nintendo mouse.
Yes.
And the whole idea was that you were going to be controlling or just drawing on your TV screen.
Yep.
And I think, yeah, if I hit L and R, I can speed up and go different speeds. Gotta remember my controls for this. But basically, it was like drawing on your television. And I had a few games that were like this at the time.
Yeah, painting programs were kind of, you know, they were a thing on a PC, but not on a console, or especially not like this.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking the one that I had was basically like this thing that you plugged into your television, like the back of your like CRT TV, and that was the whole thing. It was like a touchscreen, didn't work the best, and drawing with a mouse, if anybody has even tried doing that, it sucks. So. Yeah. Not exactly great, but I mean, this does have like lots of different tools. There were so many different assets and things you could do with this game.
One of the other big things too that I knew this game for the longest time was the music that you could actually make. There was a music sequencer in this that people have like just remade.
Oh yeah,
so much music over the years. Not just video game, but actual like real songs. Like I think I've heard a couple Aerosmith songs.
Oh yeah, I've heard so many things in Mario Paint. Oh possibly. Yeah. Here's the music.
Yeah, because there's other things you can also do with this. There we go.
Here, this is what I was thinking. Just loop that. Just short.
Yep, that's it.
Anyway, yeah.
People are crazy. People
are nuts. They make so many insane things with this, like, you couldn't believe. Just look up, like, Mario Paint music. People make the most ridiculous stuff, because you see how far this lets you go.
Yeah.
And I do believe it would let you, like, save a lot of this huge stuff, too.
Yeah, it would. I mean, because you can either loop it, or you can actually try to tell it to load up. Yeah, you can loop it, not loop it, and tell it to go to other sequences that you've maybe made. Yep, change the tempo. It's a very Nintendo idea. It's a very Nintendo execution on this idea.
Oh, good. Is this like a pre-done one they did?
Yeah. There we go.
I mean, this is the kind of stuff that people can make with this. It's nuts. And there's some stuff that's like way more advanced than just this.
Yeah.
I don't even understand how you did. I mean, I wish I could make more music like this, but it's unbelievable what people can pull off
like
with this
someone,
thing.
I think, remade the entirety of like the Final Fantasy IV soundtrack in this at one point. Aw. Such a sweet little melody. But yeah, anything else you want?
I mean, there's funny little mini games when you're drawing. You can like erase stuff in like fun animations. You can pull up like kind of like a paint by numbers sort of palette things where you could like fill in colors of like Mario and Yoshi and stuff like that. There's the famous
fly swatting
mini game thing too. That got into Smash Brothers, which was so cool. Like it's an assist trophy. Mario Paint, mostly what people are still messing with today is this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, you can do so much with this.
Yeah.
I mean, like, sure, the actual paint drawing thing. I think we got a more advanced version on N64, or was that canceled?
That was going to be for the 64
the D drive. Right.
Yeah.
I remember it was supposed to be a thing. I don't know if it actually, like, came about, but this is really the end of Mario Paint. It was kind of there to just sell a peripheral, and that was the end of that. However, the legacy of this game is absurd. And it's unfortunate because you really can't play it any other way other than, you know, this crazy finagling I had to do to even get this to function.
And one thing I just realized, if anyone has played Super Mario Maker 2, some of the icons on the bottom, like the little eraser dog and the sound effects frog, they're actually in that game.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. You actually interact with them, and they actually are little symbols you can use when making your levels.
Well, that makes sense, because they were here for, like, this level creation. That's really nifty.
Yeah.
Cool.
There you go.
Oh, wait, what up? Hold on. We can't possibly... No, I think we are. We're snapping again! There we go! Boom! Oh, it's even a completely different time period if you're watching this. I'm not even wearing the same clothes anymore. But we are...
the wrong timeline, oh no.
We just jumped over to the Sega Genesis. Yeah. And I'm doing Sega Genesis Classics on Nintendo Switch to showcase the next game that we have to show on here, which is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And I think its volume is a little loud. The volume changes between games every time we switch to a different system. It's a thing. Like, Game Boy is incredibly loud, so...
Yeah, for real.
Oh my gosh, the Atari episode we did, pre-85, that was so hard to salvage our audio out of it because those games are so loud, and then some are really quiet. It's a thing.
Sorry to make your ears bleed.
Anyway, we are about to play a little bit of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I have beaten this game. Have you beaten this game?
I have, actually, yeah.
Oh, I guess I'm playing two-player by myself. How'd this happen? So, the reason we want to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog 2 as well as 1, and we really don't need to spend too much time on this. In fact, I'll just do it like this, because this is a decent way to showcase the fact that this one had multiple players. You could play as Tails for player 2, which really didn't add up to... Whoa!
You teleported. You switched around.
I guess I did.
Yep.
I didn't realize it was even a thing. So anyway, yeah, you, aside from the fact that you now have 2 players, you can spin dash.
Yeah.
And this is...
Such a major addition.
Oh, it's so huge. Like what I said before about the original Sonic I had problems with, it was mostly in terms of level design, but also the gameplay. Sonic now suddenly feels way better to control.
Yep.
And the level design of everything here feels like it's a momentum-based game.
And you just threw him forward again.
I guess I did. Oh, because I'm going too far and he's not catching up.
Well, when some of those mystery boxes in the battle mode actually switch places with your rival, so that way they could get ahead of you.
I should stop hitting those.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, obviously this could be played single player, and that's how I beat the game, which actually makes it a lot harder because then you have Tails, air quotes, helping you for the segments where you try and get the Chaos Emeralds.
Right, the half-pipe section.
Right, which I'm probably not going to get to here. You need to get, like, I think 50 coins and then or rings. That's Mario. You need to then get those and... Oh, that sucked.
Yep, that was a Robotnik thing.
Well, forget the 50 rings thing.
Okay.
But then you hit one of the checkpoints and you're able to do, like, a half-pipe running segment. It's pretty fun. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely better than the last game. I hate the gimmicky thing from the last game. But I hate a lot of things about the last game. And one thing that I really praised, oh, this switches Tails?
You gave Tails an extra life.
Oh, okay, cool. Whatever. There you go, Tails. There, I don't hate you that much. So, I think the most important addition is, last game, the level design of Green Hill Zone was done really well, where basically you could be going up or down, and pretty much in general just moving to the right means that you're progressing and going through the level and doing well. Whereas, every other stage in Sonic 1 just kind of felt like lots of traps and a lot of waiting.
It really slowed you down.
Yeah, it was no longer momentum-based. It's like they really figured out how to do it in the first one, and then you played the best stage already. Sonic 2, however, aside from only having 2 acts per stage, which I kind of think is a little better, gets the show on the road.
Nicer pacing.
Yeah, every single stage or act feels like it is learning from that momentum-based speed part of the game. It's all about moving, and I think that's why this one is just miles better to play. That's no pun intended with a certain miles on screen.
Hey guys.
Yeah, he's waving at us. Now we have 2 more games to showcase on this. We have Streets of Rage 2.
Yes.
Specifically 2. We did pass over talking about the first one, but as we've mentioned, we just can't talk about every game.
No.
Even if it's the first of its kind, Streets of Rage 2 is really the one where they were like, kind of like Sonic 2, really figuring it out.
Oh yeah, because the Streets of Rage series came about as an answer to Final Fight. Nintendo had an exclusive right to the console version of Final Fight. Sega was like, well, we want some of that beat 'em up action.
You got the same characters as last time, I believe.
Well, you got Axel and Blaze still, but now we've got Max and Skate.
Oh yeah, I guess I mostly played this in 3. Yeah. Max, I don't remember from 3 though.
I don't remember him in number 3. We had a doctor and a kangaroo.
I'll be generic Mick 90s man.
Axel is
come on.
Kind of generic, sure, whatever.
All right, so...
But yeah, so the whole point of these kind of games, you just beat up everybody in your path because they gotta pay.
Yep, they gotta pay, man.
They gotta pay.
Luckily enough, we got a new Streets of Rage game.
Yes.
Yeah, and the fact that you can even turn it back into, like, the pixel art.
Yeah, there's secret stages where it turns back into something like this.
That's so cool. I think you could change, like, at any point.
You can play as some of the older
sprites maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
because you can unlock the different versions from each of the prior 3 games as.
Oh god, those are my specials. I shouldn't be willy-nilly throwing those out, but at least I'm just showcasing how the game functions.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in the same genre bucket, this is kind of like Double Dragon, except it just plays miles better.
And it plays awful lot like Final Fight.
Yes.
Streets of Rage 2, I think, is a better game.
I think so too.
Yeah. It plays a lot better, it respects your time, and it's not completely soul-crushing like an arcade game.
Yeah,
like you can actually get...
It's great multiplayer fun, too.
Oh, yeah, especially since they don't turn off friendly fire, so you can actually beat the crap out of whoever you're playing with.
Oh, that was probably a good use of that.
That was really good,
This was not, but...
Well, one of those should have an apple.
I hope so.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
I've played this game before.
Yeah, apparently.
It's my favorite of the original trilogy, to be honest. Not saying the first game didn't do an awful lot, but, you know, again, the whole argument of it laying the foundation and everything, but this game just cranks everything up to 11. The graphics, the controls, the sound, the music. Yuzo Koshiro just did a bang-up job with this one. That's some of the reason why I keep coming back to this one, is just the music.
Yeah, and,
there you go.
I feel like we need to stick up for, 2 in particular, because, like, if people are looking at the retro one, say you bought the, this collection on the Switch.
Yeah.
You're either jumping to 1 because you want to play the originals of stuff, or you're going to play 3 assuming that it's the best because it was the latest version.
Right.
So, yeah, there's definitely a reason to play all of those, and that sucked. I got... Oh, my
Wombo combo.
Yeah. Oh. And I'm jumping back in as Axel. But anyway, yeah, there's other characters, and they all fight differently. That's a lot of fun of it, too.
Yep, they've got different special moves. They've got different statistics.
Finally, I'm gonna stab you right in the face.
They've got different statistics, which determines their damage output, their speed, their jump, which implies, you know, or helps the player to learn a better playstyle for each character.
Yeah.
Which I think is just a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
Adds replay value.
Bosses, too.
Oh,
I have just not gotten far enough yet.
No, but these stages can be long.
Yeah.
But we're about to get to the first mini boss.
Our last one. You know what? How about we just start talking about what the last one is?
Oh, there he is.
While this happens.
While Mohawk Man.
And then I will move to the game as soon as this fight is over.
Yeah. So
because I think we basically said everything that needs to be said about Streets of Rage. Because we're probably not going to talk about it again. Also, this genre kind of disappears
for a good long while. Yeah, like
people aren't making games of this now, are they?
There's not a whole lot of new beat 'em ups. I mean, okay. The newest one is going to be the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Shredder's Revenge.
True, yeah.
Which looks phenomenal. Looks like those old Konami games. So I'm looking forward to that one.
He's got some serious HP.
Oh yeah, no, he's got 2 health bars.
Wow, I was going to say, I thought I killed him.
No, each star represents a health bar.
Ooh, he dropped his knife. That's oh, well.
Yeah, well, he can pick him back up, and he's got like a belt of knives on his jacket or something.
Yeah, well, maybe eventually.
Yeah.
There, I got this.
Yep, you can do it. I believe in you. You can just cheese it that way, and one more kick.
Oh.
You have to get that final, like...
And for those who are just listening to us,
there we go.
There we go. I took him down at least. Yeah. Okay, so we have other games to talk about. It's not just this, I swear.
It's one more game.
Yes, just one more. Yep. And we're going to be talking about...
Shining Force.
Shining Force. So this is it's kind of weird because I was actually going through and playing all of these just because I got the collection, and I actually discovered the game through here. You knew about it because you know everything, and I was like, this is weird. I'm playing Fire Emblem before we had Fire Emblem.
Yep, pretty much.
And what's funny about that is I actually, while playing it, because I didn't get too far in it, I really just messed around with it. I thought, this actually feels better than Fire Emblem.
Yeah, for a few reasons, I think. One, because you can actually explore towns in an overworld. You know, typical JRPG stuff where a lot of Fire Emblem games, you couldn't. It was just battle to battle to battle. And another thing that I like about this one, if a character passes or dies in combat, he is not completely dead. You can revive him at town. The framing device...
LeButts? My name was LeButts. Sorry.
But the framing device is that the girl is reading a fairy tale and she wants you to read with her, so that's it.
It's being cute.
Yeah. So in this
I love the animation too. I know we're actually covering it up right now, but the sprite work and the animation is great in this. Oh yeah. Also, there's this animation or a GIF-based menu system.
Yeah.
So you can see I'm standing in front of this guy, and I can choose to talk, search, item, or magic, kind of like Dragon Quest, except they're showing it to you in animations.
Right. It's more icon-based.
Yeah.
Which I like. I mean, it's not hard to...
No, Labuts, I think you've had enough for today.
This centaur is tired of kicking your butt.
I guess he is.
Of kicking le butt, rather.
Kicking le butt.
One of the things I found out about this is that the developers of this game, who would go on to be Camelot Software Planning, or Camelot Studios, who other people might know for Golden Sun, the Mario sports games, they saw Fire Emblem and they liked it, but they're like, we could make a better Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, they did.
Yeah.
Because another one of the things that I really loved about this too, you can actually flee from any battle you're in using a spell called Egress, go back in, and you're better prepared for what's to come. You don't have to reload. And you get to keep all of your experience points and levels and everything. It just makes, it's all those quality of life improvements that make me really love this game so much.
I really like the sprite work.
Yes.
The music was pretty good too. The animations, there was something with like the way that the, if I can actually get into an encounter from here, I'm not sure where I was in the story. Oh, you know what? I saved past this point. I'm replaying something because that's what's going on. Was there anything else we were going to say about Shining Force?
Play it. It's short. Like, that's the only knock against it that I've seen, and that I'm like, the story kind of feels like it's about to pick up and go somewhere, and then it just kind of ends.
Yeah. Camelot makes good games.
They do. Yeah, they really do. Really good and really well-balanced games, and they're going to stop you from leaving.
Yeah.
Because you didn't talk to the king and get your Shining Force.
I know, I didn't.
Play it if you have the opportunity, especially the second one, too, which is a prequel to this somehow. I don't.
Yeah.
Sequel.
Somehow.
The timeline in the Shining series is weird.
I don't know. No, I just think it's a good time. I would recommend fans of Fire Emblem to definitely check it out. And if anything, it is a really easy to access game because you could just get the Sega Genesis collection, even if you're just interested in playing this. I know you have like a huge plethora of other games that you can also play. So it's a great deal. And it goes on sale a lot too.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, we now have our favorites and game of the years to talk about. So Zach, how about you go first? What would you say is your favorite game of the year?
Oh, I almost said Shining Force because I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
I love this game though, but no, Streets of Rage 2 hands.
Yeah. How about this? How would I actually play Sonic 2? Because I didn't actually like play. We'll do that while we're talking because I'm still on this and we're talking 92. So anyway, yeah.
It feels so good to control. The soundtrack is amazing. I played that game so many times. I don't remember if I've ever actually beaten it because of the limited live system, but I've gotten to the end before multiple times, but I either choked or I just was like, nah, this is a load of crap. I don't like this. but still though, I really enjoy it. What about you? What's your favorite?
My favorite game of the year I'm actually wearing on my sleeve. Literally, it's right here. It is Mario Kart. I got this shirt specifically for that joke. No, I didn't. It's actually, for one, like I said, I'm particularly a fan of 92 stuff because I was releasing this year, so I partially ruined it, even though a bunch of good stuff happened. And it's got like this Mario wearing a little Famicom hat, a piece of junk cheap shirt from Kohl's probably, but whatever. Hey, it's a fun video gamey shirt, and I knew I had to wear this for this episode. If I didn't wear it here, there was like no reason I'd ever get a chance to wear this shirt. So anyway, it actually is Mario Kart. I just have such a good time playing that game, and I feel like compared to everything else on this list, it's probably aged the best. It's still really fun to play. Now, there's a lot of stuff that's really fun to play. Now we're at the point where video games are just like generally really good, like all the time. They're just like getting much, much better. But like what, for example, like what we were talking about with like Ultima. Yeah, like its 3D effects are really cool, but imagine that in a racing game, and that's what Mario Kart's pulling off on a console. Right. So it's really amazing. Oh man, I was one ring away from showing off the half pipe.
Well, you can
There's probably another.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, full of secrets. That's what I'm telling you. It's so great about this one.
Exactly. You wouldn't think this game is big on exploration, but they want you to replay and play these levels
Absolutely,
again,
and I think that's just it's great. But anyway, the Super Mario Kart. Have a great time with it. Granted, if I'm going to play one, like I said, at that, like, age is probably the most polite way to put it.
Yeah.
I kind of want to play the Mario Kart Super Circuit. That's
Right.
the Game Boy Advance one. I just love that game. We'll get a chance to talk about that eventually. If we do, I don't know. What about most influential? So if you're gonna say something's game of the year, what are you giving it to?
I was gonna say, well, my game of the year would have been what you're wearing, Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart. Well, because, like you said,
What's it's influencing? Yeah.
what it's influencing. I mean, I grew up playing Crash Team Racing. Mm-hmm. I loved that game so much. Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah, none of those would have happened were not for Mario Kart.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like that. And, again, just the future of Mario Kart itself, you picked up the speed shoes.
I know I did.
But, Mario Kart Double Dash, my favorite game of the series.
That's so fun.
Mario Kart DS, 7, 8, there's just such good games that came out later because of just that one game and its success.
Dang it, man, we're so close to... Oh, got me there.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
What about you? What would your
influential game of the year? It's weird because I don't even like this game. So I guess that's a testament to the fact that I'm really just seeing it as, woo! Just how influential it is, and not the fact that I'm being biased of what I like. Because clearly that was me just saying Mario Kart. I would actually say the influential one was... Ooh, dang it, I missed it again. Oh, well, I'm actually going to say it's Mortal Kombat.
Really?
Yeah, so...
Okay.
And the reason I would say Mortal Kombat is because, one, how influential it was just for the ESRB.
Yeah.
But not really just for that, but, just trying to figure out the line for violence in video games and where our tolerance is and what we want out of them, because not every game can be a happy cartoon like Sonic the Hedgehog. Sometimes you want to see something like The Last of Us, and that would have never happened. Would that have ever happened had Mortal Kombat not happened?
Probably not.
I mean, so there's almost it's not even a genre of games that we're missing out on if this doesn't happen. It's almost like a whole category that don't even happen. What?
You unlocked a feat.
I could have sworn, I guess I didn't do that the first time I played it.
Well, there you go.
I must have done terribly. Maybe I didn't, well, actually, I think when I got 100 rings, I got an extra life. That must have been it.
Probably.
But yeah, anyway, I kind of think Mortal Kombat, just because of how much, when you really stop and think about it, it's not just with the ESRB, because I really could just, give it to Night Trap, if that's the case. You know what, how about that? I will give it to Night Trap, but no. Mortal Kombat. I mean, it's at least still going on today. They had to have done something right, as well as pushed people's buttons in order to figure out how to make the entire medium as a whole learn of how it can keep improving as well as experimenting.
Right, because I remember when I was really young, I never played Street Fighter. Me and a bunch of my friends were all Mortal Kombat kids, because the blood and gore.
Well, it's the intense one, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the 90s. Everything's about which is more edgy and more intense, which is why Sonic even exists. He's supposed to be an edgy Mario.
Pretty much. Yeah, I can totally agree with that.
So I think that at least rounds that out. How about some Sonic for you? Well, Sonic the Hedgehog with Tails. It's a shame we never got to see the... actually, we may. You have just one more ring and a checkpoint. All right, just a checkpoint, and you got this. And we can show off that half pipe. Sonic 2 is so much of an improvement over the first one. Good lord. We've already moved on from Green Hill. We have new environments. It's just awesome. Nope, I guess it's not there. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning into this episode of HITBOX. If you enjoyed the show, you can help us keep it alive by supporting us on Patreon with the links in the show notes and video's description. For those of you on YouTube, remember to like the video and subscribe for more, and be sure to let us know what you thought of the show and what other topics you'd like to hear us cover in the future. And special thanks to all of our amazing Patreon members. Bye.
See ya.